And I never know exactly when that going live thing actually means going live. So hello there. Happy Wednesday evening to all of you. See, we've got a few people watching. It's so good to see some other people here. It has been quite a week. I've had some really great classes yesterday with our students, 3 different sessions, and they were pretty full. I think it was our biggest attendance Tuesday morning yet. So that was really exciting. We had some students that had not been able to log on until yesterday. They were actually able to get logged in. So that was even better. So good to see some faces that hadn't been able to connect before. So there's not a whole lot on my talking point agenda for tonight, but I do want to talk about something that I've noticed a couple of students and parents have had some struggle with. Now that we've been doing these Google slide assignments for the math, for the fractions work, it's kind of a different interface. You're not just opening up one single thing and everything is right there on one worksheet page. You know, it's like 55, 75, 85 different slides that you have to work with. And Google Slides can be a little bit weird sometimes. And there's this feature that is sometimes a little bit irritating where you can take one slide and make the image on that slide the background image for every single slide in the entire presentation. That is great if you're trying to like change the look of something. But if the background image happens to be the worksheet part of the assignment and you change all of them, then suddenly your work just went away. Your work didn't go away, but all the questions went away basically. So we had that happen earlier this week, and then another student ran into that same problem earlier today. And so let me just give you a couple of things to think about. Anytime you're in a Google Doc or a Google slide, any sort of the Google tools we're using in classroom for the assignments each week, if something weird happens, like if something gets deleted, or like in the Google slide situation, suddenly the background image gets changed on every single slide, as soon as you notice that, the first thing to try is Control Z. That's undo. Control Z. There's also sort of the little curved arrow towards the top left-hand side of the screen. That's the undo arrow. Anything in Google, there are about 3 different places you can find it. You can go to Edit, and go to Undo, click that little curvy arrow, and that'll undo, or just do Control Z on the keyboard. Z, I don't know why, but it's what it is. And that, if it's something that has just happened and you just noticed it, then hitting Undo, Control Z, once, twice, a couple times, that might just take care of it. And then whatever it was that unintentionally took place just gets undone and you can carry on. Now, if you have to undo it a couple of times, then there's a possibility that maybe you've got to redo some work. Talking to the students, of course, because parents, you're not doing the work, right? Right? Okay. But if you have to undo it a couple of times, maybe some work needs to be redone. But seriously, not a huge deal. It's actually just more practice, right? So in the situation today, we had a student who somehow hit a key combination that made that background image the background of every single slide. Suddenly, none of the slides make sense. And so I was able to go back in. So the second level, if undo doesn't work, or if you forget to do that, then the second thing is just contact me right away. I can go in, I have access to your students' files, so I can, that sounds a little bit ominous, I have access to your student files. But your permanent record also, no, I don't. But if you let me know right away, I can go into that document or that slide presentation, and I can go back through sort of forensically and find out what happened, where it went wrong, and I can restore it to an earlier version. Now, here's where sort of the downside happens. We've restored it to the earlier version, so things that went wrong suddenly went back to being right, but you might have to redo some slides of work. Some work might have gone away because it's sort of like you're peeling back layers. And to get back to how you want it to be, you might lose a little bit along the way. Hey, Cora, how are you doing? So glad you're here. So anyways, a little bit of a trade-off, but with the student I was talking about earlier, it was actually really cool because I was still logged into the document and I could see the work the student was doing. And it's like, yeah, that kid knows fractions. That was so cool. So it was actually kind of a silver lining for me because I get to watch them. Again, not like I'm controlling everything here, but I love that I can access the files for that reason, just to be able to support students. So I got to see the student doing the work and seeing how they were navigating fractions. So that was good. So if you ever have a problem like that, Control Z, that's your first step. If that doesn't work, or you realize something went wrong later on, contact me. I will gladly help out. Yeah, Cora, I am talking about you. I wasn't going to call you out though, kiddo. And you didn't do anything wrong. It was like awesome because this is great teachable moment for all of us, right? And it worked out. And Cora, you rocked your fractions today. I was so proud of you. All right, so that was my one talking point. So just really seriously, contact me right away, because I wrote here, I don't want students to get frustrated. I don't want students to lose work, and I don't want them to have to redo more work than necessary. So let me know. Hey, listen, this is a totally unofficial thing that I'm about to say right now, but the latest that I heard is, I know that we've had the question about library books and Chromebooks and things like that, about when do we get those back. The current information I'm hearing is that probably those will just be coming back in the fall. So here's the challenge. A, keep track of those things over the summer. It's a lot to keep track of. And then B, keep it in working order. That's good. But the good side of that is that there are all these student learning websites that we've been using, like iReady, like Extra Math, like Epic, ReadWorks, all these sort of things. Even if teachers are not making assignments over the course of the summer, we can set it up so that the student still has work, like SumDog and all these various things like that. So the nice thing is that during those long summer hours where you're like, every bike has been ridden, every tree has been climbed, and there's like nothing, I'm so bored. Well, you can do some learning activities on the Chromebooks over the course of the summer. So that's kind of a cool thing. If any information about that changes, I will let you know. Also, just keep checking the feed, the story feed on the Kennedy Class Dojo, because I'm sure any information will be put out there as well. Speaking of which, did you get all your student belongings this week? I know there were a few things, like a couple of jackets and a lunchbox that had no name on them. So I believe that those will be made available at another time. I don't have the information beyond that. All right, so Cora, Cosand. Hey, Cora. So do you have any questions? Because this, like I said, is going to be a pretty short one here. I'm looking at Dojo. I don't have any questions over there. I'm looking here. Cora's talking to me, which is awesome, but there aren't any other questions. So we don't have a whole lot more to talk about except for this. You may have noticed on the Class Dojo reminder that I said this is the final open house. It's the final open house. I just don't know that we necessarily are. I love meeting with you guys, and I love being able to see the comments over in the chat window there. But I don't know that we've really got a whole lot of questions and extra information that needs to be put out there. So I think I will go ahead and discontinue the Wednesday YouTube open house after tonight. If the need arises down the road, if it's sort of like lots of questions, the same questions are coming up, I'll start them up again. It's awesome. Everything is still here. I'm here, you're there, and we can reconnect that way if necessary. But I will keep doing the Monday morning dojo videos, and I'll keep having the Tuesday morning Google Meet live classes with students. So we'll still have plenty of ways to connect. If you've got questions, just ask them to me through Google, not through Google, but through the Class Dojo. Kids can ask me through Google Classroom. So there's still plenty of ways we can stay connected. If you have questions, then that is great. Okay, here's a question. To help students see an end in sight, how many more weeks of homework do they have? Well, Mr. Attell mentioned that we were about halfway through this experience, but as far as I know, we're still looking at the first few days of June, like June 3rd, I think, something around there is our end site. So we've got basically May, and then school's out. So the end is in sight. You've done a lot of great work. I know it's been a pretty big learning curve for all of us, but that's another reason I don't know that the open houses are necessary anymore, because we really have jumped a lot of pretty significant hurdles, climbed a lot of mountains, and any other physical metaphors I can use right there. So I think people have a pretty strong handle on how this whole thing is operating now. So I don't know that the Wednesday thing is really necessary. Now, if you do have questions and you do have places where you're like, I don't know what to do, we're kind of stuck, then I can easily, I've mentioned this before, but I can easily do like a small group Google Meet live class for one student or a couple of students, or small group, however that works. So the Tuesday morning is not the only time I'm available to meet. If there are other times through the week where it would be helpful to have us do a Google Meet class with your kiddos, just ask. No problem at all. I will find a way to work that in, and my schedule's pretty flexible, as you can imagine. Any other questions? I'm looking here. I don't see anything. So just at 10 minutes here, we're going to wrap this up. Guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate how encouraging you guys have been, how patient you all have been, how connected and focused and supportive of your students, of me, of this entire experience you guys have been. It really is pretty impressive. It's incredible, actually, that you are rolling with so many responsibilities and so many plates spinning in the air, and it's a lot, but you guys are managing it really brilliantly. So thank you very much. I appreciate it on the teacher side of things, and I know that in the long run, your kids are going to be able to look back at this and see this as being a pretty remarkable time that they got to live through and thrive in and be part of. So you guys have a great week. God bless you all. Hope you are well. Ask any questions at any time, and I will do my best to answer them and be available to you. That is it for tonight. Hey, you are, let me see. Can you sing a song, please? Okay. I wasn't going to pull the guitar out unless somebody asked. So Cora, hang on. Let me get the guitar. There's going to be the little bit of nothing happening there except for seeing me fumble around for my guitar case. So hang on just a moment. We'll do the Kennedy song and then we'll say goodbye. I'm getting the guitar now. All right, there we go. Hey, Alexa and Kendra, how are you girls doing? It's so good to see you in the Google, the YouTube. Ready? There we go. K-E-N-N-E-D. Now, are you singing along or is this just me? Because if it's just me, it's no fun. You've got to actually sing along. I know that there are a few of you kiddos out there, so sing along right now. And if you don't know the song, adults, parents, just spell the word. It really is all the song is. K-E-N-N-E-D-Y spells Kennedy. K-E-N-N-E-D-Y spells Kennedy. Treat others with respect. Make every minute count. Always do your best. That's what it's all about. And together we can make our school the greatest place to be. We can do it all as Team Kennedy. Proud to be part of the team. Proud to be Team Kennedy. Proud to be part of the team. Proud to be Team Kennedy. Proud to be part of the team. Proud to be Team Kennedy. Last time now. Proud to be part of the team. Proud to be Team Kennedy. Guys, I am proud to be Team Kennedy. Been at this school for, 17 years now? And it's always been an amazing experience. But you guys, you parents, you students, just one of the best years ever. So thank you for that. Have a great night. Like I said, God bless you all. Contact me if you have any questions or need clarification on something. Talk to you later.